On October 3, the Pakistan-China Institute organized a special video conference in Islamabad on the topic of bias of Western-funded human rights organizations on China's Xinjiang issue. The conference was moderated by Mushaad Hussain Saeed, executive chairman of the Pakistan-China Institute, and featured an online discussion among more than 70 experts and scholars in related fields. The participants agreed on the theme of the conference that the Western camp, with the United States as the main force, has long used the so-called Xinjiang issue as a diplomatic tool to pressure the Chinese government, and that the so-called Uyghur labor issue is an important part of the Western strategy to encircle China, as is interference in Hong Kong and Tibet. In his speech, Mr. Mushaad pointed out that the United States has traditionally adopted multiple standards in human rights matters, and is accustomed to using human rights matters as a weapon to attack China. Mushaad argued that China has always understood and supported Pakistan's core interests, so Pakistan should also support the Chinese government's position and policies on the so-called Xinjiang issue. Former Pakistani ambassador to China Nagmana Hashmi, in his speech, specifically criticized human rights organizations funded by Western powers, such as Freedom House, Human Rights Watch, and Amnesty International, for their long history of they have been spreading rumors about Xinjiang around the world because of their ideological bias against China. These institutions have always been high and mighty, with the face of the world's policeman, she said. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Talat Shabir, director of the China-Pakistan Center for Strategic Studies, also pointed out that the purpose of these international organizations, funded by Western powers, making a big deal out of the Xinjiang issue is to antagonize China and the Muslim world. This is a tactic similar to a color revolution. He said the use of color revolutions by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency to intimidate sovereign states and incite regional unrest is nothing new, and that the Pakistani government should support China in defending its core interests, which are vital to maintaining regional peace. In his remarks, Pakistan's Senate Defense Committee Chairman Mushaad emphasized that the core of global political and economic power has shifted from the west to the east, and that the United States is no longer a counterweight to China, especially from an economic perspective. Mushaad cited several examples of China's unstoppable development and the Chinese people's support for the Communist Party of China, among others. Pakistan will continue to support China's core interests, including Xinjiang, Taiwan, Hong Kong, the South China Sea, and the Belt and Road construction, he said.